Okay, the EU has a new rule that will require all phone manufacturers, including Apple, to use a standard charger, and it's not going to end the way they thought it would. What's going on, YouTube? Yes, the EU is trying to force Apple to stop using their proprietary Lightning connector, and will try and force them to use USB-C if they're going to continue to sell iPhones and devices in the EU. Remember, it's not just limited to iPhone, theoretically. But here's why this is a really bad decision and why it's going to backfire. So hit the subscribe button, click the bell so you don't miss as we cover all things Apple Talk, iPad Pro, and Pro Audio. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granite Geek Show. Okay, so taking a look at the article on CNN, it says Apple and other smartphone makers will be required to support USB-C as part of a single charging standard for mobile devices across the European Union by as early as the fall of 2024 under a new law announced Tuesday by EU officials. So this is not up for discussion. There will be no long debate. It's already happening. Now, the legislation is aimed, apparently, at reducing e-waste and cable clutter. And yes, this came directly from the mouth of the European Commission Vice President. And as I said, this applies to more than just the iPhone. All tablets, e-readers, video game consoles, MP3 players, digital cameras, handheld devices, you name it, they will all have to be equipped with some sort of USB-C connector, regardless of the manufacturer. Now, I could see this going two ways, neither of which the EU wants. Number one, Apple will simply remove the port at all from their device. As you can tell, they have been transitioning and moving their devices toward wireless charging with glass backs, enabling that for quite some time now. So maybe they foresaw this move coming, certainly from the EU, and they want to continue selling devices in the European Union, but they do not want to have to be held to any sort of charging or data transfer standard. And the other thing is that they could simply stop selling Apple devices and iPhones in the EU. Now, this is a big and bold move. This would kind of be playing a bluff. You see, Apple doesn't necessarily want to lose sales of iPhones in the EU. Of course not. That's a big chunk of change. But it wouldn't destroy Apple. If you look at the numbers, you'll see that that's very clear. The most valuable company in the world, valued at over $3 trillion, the first company to ever do so. And what it would do is it would turn the people on the EU Commission. In other words, people are going to be upset that they can no longer buy the latest iPhone, the most popular selling phone in the world, and it's going to cause them to make some noise to their local officials. Now, you may be saying, oh, well, it's not targeted at Apple, it's targeted at a whole bunch of devices, but certainly it was targeted at Apple, as they sell the most popular smartphone in the world, and they are the most reluctant company to transition to USB-C. Almost every other major manufacturer has USB-C equipped devices. Apple is notorious for not wanting to do so. But here's why it's a bad idea to do this. Apart from just reducing e-waste and stuff, I think that's bogus. Number one, because Apple has done more than almost any other company in terms of reducing their carbon footprint, in terms of being eco-friendly. So I really don't buy that selling iPhones with Lightning chargers is going to create an incredible amount of e-waste. They even have their own recycling program. You can bring any iPhone or Apple device into the store, or you can send it to them and they'll recycle it for you. So when it comes to going green, you can't get much greener than Apple. And number two, Apple is one of the most innovative companies on the planet, certainly in the world of personal computing. If it's not USB-C, Apple may be working on their next innovative connector technology that they would then have to either not release or just not sell to the European Union, because it would not fit with the law of USB-C. First of all, the EU didn't even create USB-C. They're not responsible for its standards or anything like that. They have no say in how that standard is even implemented. You know, who's to say the next company doesn't create USB-D or USB-Z, something cool, and it can't be implemented because of the laws of the EU. So it's basically going to stagnate technology and not serve to innovate. Apple could be working on a new port that is much faster and universal. Remember, this was the company that helped pioneer Lightning with Intel, and so that was an incredible new standard, an incredible patent that they had for a while, and then USB-C was part of Apple helping develop the technology as a whole. So now the EU is trying to play that against them, and I don't think that it's going to work out. Now, in my personal opinion, I think that Apple's going to go in the direction of wireless with potentially a MagSafe type option, which technically wouldn't be a port, but would be like some sort of magnetic inductive charging that would enable them to skirt past the rules of the EU and continue to sell devices. But really, I don't know what they think they're doing. This is the largest company in the world. Certainly cutting off any country is not going to destroy them, certainly not in the short term. And Apple has plenty of cash to just wait out and see what people are going to do if they decide to go the route of cutting off Apple device sales in the EU. So definitely an interesting story. I made a previous video on it before, so you can check that out, link in the description below or right here. It's WWDC week, and so there's going to be plenty of Apple news coming. If you want to hear my recap from WWDC or my talk about iPad OS 16, check out the videos down in the description below. Hey, if you're into Apple Talk and Pro Audio and specifically iPad Pro Talk, then this is the channel you're going to want to subscribe to. Click the bell and hit the like button so you don't miss as we cover all these things. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granny Geek Show.